Shown there by Kenny Walker. Obviously disappointed. He's the defending champion, didn't make it to the finals, but he gave great credit to Kenny Smith from Sacramento at 6'3". There are 3 dunks in the final round with 1 replacement dunk, and Kenny Smith will go first as Dominique won the flip and elected to go second. Kenny Smith into the row of photographers.
There's not a lot of power, step way inside. Again, at 6'3", you can't expect too much from him, but I tell you, his creativity is what's got him into the finals. Just a nice little run off the 1 foot, about 1.5 to 2 feet inside. Very nice, but nothing spectacular about it. Kicked the legs up, which was good, but then hard to get the power when you're that size and jumping from that far out.
So Kenny Smith awaiting his score. Dominique Wilkins. He got a 48-1 on that one. Not a bad score.
Now the judges have been, I think, a little bit more lenient here in the latter rounds. You know, again, early on, a couple of early dunkers, Scottie Pippen for one with that long run that he did. Now, Scottie Pippen's dunk was so much more spectacular than that. And what did he get for that first dunk of his? Something down in the low 40s.
Yeah, it was a 46 and change.
Yeah, or middle. Yeah, that's tough.
Now Dominique Wilkins, former champion, late entry. See, they're going conservative. This is playoff dunking.
Well, see, he dunked that so quickly. You don't realize. I mean, it was so fast. He came underneath the basket, brought it under, and threw it over his head so quickly. What's this right here now? He takes off, and watch how quick this is. This is slow motion. He brings it under and throws it down.
The super slow-mo champion. And speaking of dunking, let's go to Steve Jones and the master, Dr. J.
Well, Doc, we have been sitting up here talking about how difficult the judges have been and how quiet the crowd has been. What do you think about the event so far?
Once again, you know, I think it's a little slow right now, and I think the format might have a lot to do with that. Since there was so much space between dunks, between the athletes, you didn't get a chance to get a feel for how good one guy was doing. But we've seen some exciting dunks, and certainly, you know, I think with this final round right here, you know, Kenny Smith seems to be pulling a Spud Webb. Catching everybody by surprise, because he certainly wasn't one of the favorites.
All right, well, you've talked about him. Keep talking about Kenny Smith right now.
Well, what he's doing right now, he's just showing creativity, and he's done a lot of timing dunks, and he's been nailing them. And I think he's probably even surprising Dominique. Look at Dominique, man. He's like, well, what is that? I remember when Spud did that to him. He's like, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do that. I'm the Neek, right?
Well, you know, everyone has had their favorites in this contest, and it looks like Kenny Smith has pushed ahead. We'll see what the judges do for him, Doc. All right, let's go back to Bob and Rick and Doug Collins.
Okay, thank you, Steve Jones. First of all, Dominique got a 47.9 on his dunk prior to this one, and now on 49.8 for Kenny Smith.
And I think that's great. Again, he did the creativity. That's a very difficult dunk to do. Dominique is showing a sameness to his dunks. He's doing the same type of things, the pump, the clutch, the hard thing, not the creativity. And I think the fans and the judges are being caught up with this. So, again, I think Julius might have hit it. This could very well be a Spud Webb type of competition with an unknown coming in and grabbing the crowd.
Well, let's put some pressure on Dominique here. He's got to come up with something.
He misses. Remember, he'll get a replacement dunk. Only one, though, and this is a 3-dunk championship round.
Well, he was flying. That would have been a spectacular dunk. That would have given him high numbers because it was beautiful timing. He got a great toss.
I give him a 9.8 on the miss.
Yeah, that's twice he's missed that same dunk.
Now, is there a minimum score you get if you miss?
20, yeah, you only can get 25.
Okay.
A windmill dunk from Dominique Wilkins. Once again, I think the point is well raised that our judges have seen this a lot, and Dominique Wilkins has been in this competition over and over again, won it back in '85, and we've seen this before from Dominique.
Well, that's what happens when you miss a dunk and you're in under this kind of pressure. Dominique knew that he must convert, so he wanted to go to something that was spectacular, but at the same time safe. And again, the double pump, and he throws it down with the same kind of power that we've seen the whole contest. But, Rick, I think you made a good point. A lot of his dunks have looked very similar.
A 49.7 awarded on that dunk. That's a shock. Smith has 97.9 right now, and it's 97.6 for Dominique, and it's going to go down to the third one. That surprised me very much right now. Let's go to Craig Sager.
Well, thank you, Bob. With me is Cliff Levingston, Dominique's dunking coach, and John Sally, who's talking in the background. What'd you tell Dominique?
Well, we told him to pump his sneakers a couple times and so he can get a little more lift.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, we're down to the wire. Let's go back to Bob Neal.
Thank you, Kenny Smith, now for his third dunk. A lob again. He grabbed the rim and followed through. I'll bet he wishes he hadn't done that because he could have pulled it back down. Now he does have a replacement dunk remaining, so he may choose to do that as a replacement dunk. It looks like his right hand is sore.
Now, does he know that he can get a replacement dunk even though he made that? See, I don't know whether he knows that he can replace that even with the make. I think he's questioning right now, can I do it over even though I made it?
I'll tell you what, that's still a pretty creative dunk right there. The guy had no chance to make it and caught the rim and wound up whipping back. He caught his wrist because he came around from behind his swing.
Getting a ruling from the NBA on this is Kenny Smith. Looks like his wrist is hurting right now. Still no word on it. They say he cannot replace it. The dunk has to miss for you to be able to replace it, so that will count. And he got a 47-2 on it for a total of 145-1. Dominique Wilkins' lowest score today has been 47-9. You see the NBA officials on the sideline explaining to Kenny Smith that since the dunk went through the net, he does not get a replacement. Let's see what he did to his wrist here. Dominique now has a 97-6.
You know, I wonder how much they counted against him by grabbing the left hand and pulling himself up, Rick. I don't know if they counted that against him.
Dominique needs a 47-6 to win. Oh, that's got to get it.
Yeah, but again, you see, it's the same type of dunks that the league has been coming up with. And Kenny is extremely creative to get out of that dunk. So,
how about this? Dominique Wilkins' shoe company paid him $100,000 to come to this competition because they're about to come out with a new line of shoes, and I believe he's about to win and get another 20.
well, here's the two-hand plan again. The two-hand windmill, we've seen it a lot. Great power, great elevation, of course. And it's just unfortunate that Kenny Smith elected to go ahead and finish that dunk off. Had he had a chance to do it over again, we could have seen someone who would have been a new champion.
A 49-2, and Dominique Wilkins is a repeat champion with a total cumulative score in the championship round of a 146.8. Dominique Wilkins, the champion from 1985, is now the champion from 1990. Dominique Wilkins over the underdog, the upstart, the upset-minded Kenny Smith from Sacramento.